moving her lips. No, I have a friend who said that the song ends all wrong, that the song should end with the long cylindrical thing running off with the blow-up valve. But I mentioned that I've had a number of odd jobs besides being a crackerjack vendor. Probably the oddest one I had was right after I graduated from college. I was a string bean inspector in a canning factory. English major, you know. And, for 10.5 hours a day, I'd watch the string beans go by. It was my job to pull out anything that wasn't a string bean as it sailed past my eyes. And as you can imagine, I buy fresh vegetables now. But when you have a job like this, you make up all kinds of stories just to keep yourself interested. And the one thing I would wait for maybe once a week, a string bean would go by standing up. I think, stop, I go, there goes a little green soldier. Up to the cooker, taking it like a man, and I fantasize about it for hours. No, you have to do this stuff, it's a boring job. But maybe once a month, 2 string beans would go by standing up together. And I go, there goes a little green soldier with this woman by his side. And I was hoping and praying they would end up in the same can together so they could be devoured together. Very rare. Once a summer, an albino string bean would go by. I was supposed to pull those out, but I let them go through. I knew someplace out there somebody's going to, go play lotto after seeing the albino bean and their life would change. That could keep me fantasizing for a couple of days. But I stopped working there, and eventually, a couple years later, I was living in New York City, and my brother was working at the string bean canning factory. And it was Christmas time, and I planned to go home to visit all of my brothers and sisters and family, and I got a terrible case of the flu, and I couldn't go. So my brother surprised me. He drove 8 hours to visit me, and he brought me the only thing he could afford at the time. That was a case of cans of string beans that were all dented up. You can't sell them because they give you botulism, but they let the employees take them home and figure, oh, my sister's sick anyway, why not? So they were all stamped, damaged goods. And we sat and talked for a couple hours, and then he got back in his car and left, and I was left with these cans, these dented up cans. I turned on the TV and what was playing, but It's a Wonderful Life. And it was, on my ghosty TV set, and I was feeling real bad. So a couple days later, I wrote the song, and the title of the song is Damaged Goods. It came from this case of string beans, which I never opened them because I was afraid of botulism. But I was going to open a check for albino beans, but then I didn't do that either. I threw them out after a year. But he was always a bit too open, a bit too quick to please. Such eager men make women feel ill at ease. Relationships never lasted long, though there was nothing in particular you could say he was doing wrong. But now his loneliness is beginning to show. His confidence is at an all-time low. He's always second-guessing. Look at him hesitate. The littlest decisions are the hardest to make. 'Cause now he thinks of himself as damaged goods. So far, no one's ever treated him as gently as he hoped they would, and he don't hold his head up quite so high. And he finds himself longing for the innocence of times gone by. She had her first man when she was 23 years after all her girlfriends gave away their virginity. And now at last she thought her life had begun, but she sees things a little differently now that she's 31. She's had a lot of lovers, but no special man has ever really touched her or tried to understand. Now there's an awkward hesitation in everything she does. If only her life could be simple like it was. But now she thinks of herself as damaged goods. So far, no one's ever treated her as gently as she hoped they would, and she don't hold her head up quite so high. And she finds herself longing for the innocence of times gone by. I don't know about you, but it seems like all of my friends are either being hurt or they are trying to mend the hurt been done to them by somebody else. And now they carry with them like a badge a sadly damaged image of themselves. I've got a little sister, 15 years old, and there's so very much I think she should be told. But she won't listen, Lord knows I never did, and that's why I got so many scars I struggle to keep hid. Sometimes I falter, sometimes I lose, sometimes I get caught up one in my blues. I'm so undecided, I hesitate, and yet every once in a while I just manage to forget that I think of myself as damaged goods. So far, no one's ever treated me as gently as I dreamed they would.